On the other hand, Inferno, I think there's kind of this two kind of ways out of this, basically. You have a 2-0 for Copenhagen Flames. If they just kind of manage to win MiBR's map pick, the second map, of course, being Train, then maybe 2-0 because they can prevent it from going to Inferno. But if it does go to the free map situation, or the other option, then we will see Inferno probably being won by MiBR, and then, of course, MiBR taking the upper hand, going into that grand final against Namiga.
Well, let's see what's going to happen right here, as of course we will first see that knife come out. Copenhagen Flames wants to start on that CT side. Let's get some early momentum going. Let's get that first map in their favor. However, we also have to say that on yesterday, where they played, of course, MiBR before, they won the map of Overpass 16-14. But from their CT side, they played really well. Eventually, they got on towards, I believe, a 15-9 lead. They almost choked it out. They win in the end as they're now trying to chase down the last player from Copenhagen Flames. Yet, both players from the side of Copenhagen Flames are also quite tagged. And now Fur has a 1v1.
Oh boy.
It's just a right-click battle. Who will hit it in the end? Round 1. Fight.
I was going to say, it's like they're playing tag. It's like they're reliving their childhood.
Oh my god, and they're actually on the playground as well.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Fur's like punching the sand like, you come at me. No, you come at me. No, I'm going to get you. No.
This is like the most...
My dad will beat up your dad.
I think this is the most fought-out knife round that we've seen so far. Look at these. Look at how they're dodging.
And the great thing, we have 85 more minutes to play out, but Fur will win it in the end. 1v2 for him. And that most likely will mean that MiBR will be starting on the CT side. And hopefully for them, they will be able to streak some rounds together. Last time around, there was a little bit of a struggle for Copenhagen Flames. Not just to close out the map, but also to play on their own T side. So this might be that there might be some momentum going in favor of that CT side of the Brazilians. And if that really starts going, if they still keep that flow going, what we saw on towards the previous map against Singularity, there might be a very scary moment coming for the Copenhagen Flames. Yet for me, all depends on the performance of Taco. He was a little bit quiet in the first 2 maps for MiBR against Singularity. And yesterday he was key to hold down sides, and he was a player you had to play around rather than play against. And once more, that 1v1 in the knife. Just a little bit antsy, both of them. Oh my god, Fur, are you going for it? Yes! He almost taps away that little bit of a beautiful swing, and he eventually gets it.
Shout out, to the person doing the replays. That is just knife round replays, just everything covered.
Props
it's
for everything you need in life.
Absolutely. So let's see now if this knife round is going to, well, turn the rest of this half really into MiBR's favor. We've spoken about momentum before, and getting your knife round and also starting on your preferred side does give you a certain sort of edge. They can start on that CT side a little bit more comfortable, a little bit more, well, I'd say calm in a way. And you can see first starts it off well, frags out Mertz, clean headshot, and that's the kind of stuff that you need to see really to have this map go into their favor. Oh dear, but Jabby, he comes right back, and
But they're overstaying their welcome. They should have already been long gone. And now they're in a 4-on-3. Fallen without armor, but he has a defuse kit and a smoke, so maybe he can do something for himself. As Copenhagen Flames are still biding their time. They're waiting for MiBR to make yet another mistake, and Fallen will go down. Taco now in the flank will possibly get a frag. There's 2 players standing by in the toilets. They're not really going for it too well, as there will be a flashbang coming down. Taco will be refragged, as Jabby slightly overcommitted. But best over the last frag as well means the pistol goes in favor of the Danes. And once more, they're starting off well. Yesterday, on towards Overpass, they won both pistol rounds. And of course, that really propels you into most likely a lead, and most likely also a very good start. Of course, there will also be a force by now coming down from that CT side of MiBR, and they will try to bring it back straight away. And so far in the match yesterday, they weren't able to instantly convert a round back in their force buy.
Yep, so that is a bit of a question mark as well. Well, kind of depends. I'll have to just see, wait patiently, how this second round plays out. Of course, would very logically, I'd say, go into the favor of Copenhagen Flames. Because look at that weaponry. Look at that UMP on Mertz, because, I guess Danish people really love playing with a UMP sometimes.
Might be. Jabby takes a frag on towards KNG. That's the opening frag, but Taco will get one back on towards Manx. That means that now we will have a little bit of a trade fest going on, but Taco will fall quite easily as well. And then that AK, or rather Galil, will be picked up by Mertz, as apparently doesn't like the UMP as much. Just to throw it all away easily. Yet he threw it away inside, possibly for MiBR, as the smoke would dissipate, and then they could go with, of course, their armor for a little bit of an upgrade. In the UMP and armor, still a decent weapon to work with. As Fur currently on the flank, and they're not watching it. Copenhagen Flames will be drawn towards Monster, as of course once more there will be a flank. This is something we saw as well yesterday. They are playing too slow, and now they will be flanked out. Shots will be fired. It's going to be Ver with 1. Dafu and Mertz with 2 in return, leaving only this player standing, but a bomb will be dropped in his favor. Mertz luckily still surviving, and Dafu with the last frag having that Galil to work for him. And now a 2-0 lead in favor of Copenhagen Flames. Apparently holding on towards their anti-force by round, but he was rather close, and if Fer was just a little bit closer before he started firing, he might have actually won the round in favor of his team.
And that does mean that MiBR now will be going on a full eco round. The only thing in their hands being perhaps 1 or 2 upgraded pistols, but not really much more than that. A shame, of course, for MiBR. Not the start that they might have wanted on Overpass. And Copenhagen Flames with that now, they have started off well. They are probably going into the 3rd round and winning that one pretty confidently. But I do wonder if the momentum throwback is going to be real. If MiBR on their 4th round will then immediately grab it back.
Well, it's going to be Copenhagen Flames hoping to get that 16-0 in to get some momentum for themselves, but the chances are, of course, quite small. A little bit of a timeout to come in after, of course, that 2nd round, as there will be most likely be someone spilling some water over their keyboards. We've had it many times so far.
Yep.
And of course, we also know there will be that eco coming down from the side of MiBR. Will it be good enough? Well, most likely not, unless if they do stack up towards the side and Copenhagen Flames play solo. Time and time again, we see the teams making that mistake. And against, of course, MiBR, they need to really play together. And indeed, there will be a technical issue on the side of Copenhagen Flames. So far, most players are moving, however. So I would be expecting them to continue relatively soon as well.
Yeah, it's. I do have to say, though, Copenhagen Flames, I do recall them also having technical issues every now and then in the past. Not much you can do about it, I suppose. I do hope that...
Just tell your brothers to get off the internet, man.
Yeah, I was just going to say, either tell your family members to get off the internet, stop watching Netflix or something like that. But honestly, I think maybe, just maybe, could be some new gear that might be bought after this one. This competition is done. Or maybe it's already been ordered, but they still have to wait for it to arrive. We know that problem.
Maybe it was the parcel actually coming by as, well, that full eco now to come in. 2 Mach 10s to come in from the Copenhagen Flames, trying to put some pressure on towards the B-side. Quick rush to come in. But look at the players already boosting on the side of MiBR. There will be a true 3-man boost. Now, of course, you have to edge yourself in towards the corner because you will always be moving as you are on that triple-man boost. And Mertz is moving up. He will be standing by, and he's trying to find the first players. There will be kills coming in from Mertz and Basso as well. Basso with a double, meaning that actually that gravity pressure only Taco alive. And he's actually the sole member standing as well for the side of MiBR. He will go down to Dafu. That's another frag for him. And a 3rd round for Copenhagen Flames. So far playing it out rather clean. As Copenhagen Games, of course, having the odds in their favor because they have won the pistol and they have won against MiBR yesterday as well.
Yep, the Flames now looking to a solid start of their 1st half. I think maybe, just maybe now, it's all going to come down to MiBR, right? Said it just now as well. They have a full buy, they have their opportunity now, and they just need to really put down a decisive sight hold. You can say, of course, Copenhagen Flames, the Vi.GG odds for this match are somewhat in their favor, but not too much. So this can be close, Once they're on equal, or well, a full buy for both sides, then it is equal footing for the both of them, and it will really be interesting to see now if that means MiBR can gain that upper hand, can start getting the rounds back, or if it means that maybe, just maybe, Copenhagen Flames will just continue. Starts off well, KNG here. He gets that first frag. You'd like to see it. And then Molly gets thrown onto short to delay Copenhagen Flames from potentially pushing through. There was a little bit of damage thrown back at KNG, but oh, there was a good solid attempt at TRK here. He pushes in, he peeks in even. And with that, he gets a solid frag again. That is a good start to this round for MiBR. They can now really confidently, even I dare say, start to feel good about this round. They can start to think that maybe this is what they need.
Well, it's going to be Jabby trying to move up with the AK in hand, trying to get close and possibly get a kill or 2 in his favor. Jabby will eventually take down Vert, not really taking any damage. Meaning we now have a 4-3. 40 seconds still remaining, however, and that means they slowly have to get moving. But they are also worried for a flank to come in. There's still 2 players on towards this side. There will be 1 on towards long, 1 on towards this side as now Max actually pushes towards that B side. They're trying to fake out, trying to draw some players in as Fallen now takes down Jabby. However, they now know it might be a take to come in, but the bomb is already rotating. They should commit because there has been a second frag to come in. Flashes to be thrown by Mertz, but he's so slow, and that might mean that there is no time to plant as there's actually players close by from the side of MiBR as well. He's trying to peek in. Mertz gets one before being traded up by KNG sprays. He scores. It's going to be 1 round in favor of MiBR against the 3 of Copenhagen Flames.
Solid there from MiBR, but look at only KNG surviving though. You have to mention that, you can't look past that. It's a serious problem that with that, we'll see that MiBR might take this first round, but they really, really did have to fight for it. You see, KNG with that last man standing position, really not being in a book side save for the rest of his team. They now have to rebuy, and they will, of course. But you can see there with the SMGs, basically. Those are very telling and are a very good indicator of the fact that MiBR now, they might have taken the win, but they, at the same time, did lose quite a bit for it.
Yeah, could have and maybe should have been around for Copenhagen Flames with Manx opening up 2 kills on towards the B side. The rotate was just way too slow, meaning that MiBR was able to play together on towards that, well, not really retake because the side wasn't really taken yet. It's going to be that single AWP on towards Fallen and also no one on towards Mertz because Copenhagen Flames is able to buy really well against those 3 MP9s and 1 M4 and as the before mentioned AWP. There will be quite some utility, so that at least is something good for the side of MiBR, hoping to slow down the players and make it rather close, or at least close ranged, with those flashbangs and, of course, the smokes.
Absolutely, and utility, I'd say, is on both sides really still present, so both teams can utilize that to their full potential. I do expect Copenhagen Flames to be taking it slowly again, although, of course, right as I say that, they do toss some utility onto that A-bomb site, but no pushes really coming in just yet. They're trying to get those first picks with that AWP in the hands of Mertz, but he can't really hit anything just yet. A good smoke there to delay, and now Fur might be coming in from a very solid flanking position. If they do not anticipate this, that should at least be 1 free frag for him, if not more, but oh, Basso here, he's ready, and indeed takes out Fur with that now. TRK tries to hold off the site. Does succeed now, goes for the second, and we're running out though, only 3 bullets left, and then he gets sidelined by Manx, along with Basso, who takes out Fallen in the meantime. Taco now comes out of toilets, but with a 1v3 situation, that is tough. Not really, not the fight I see him winning anytime soon. He might be able to upgrade his weapon here, although I don't believe that there was anything really left in that neighborhood in the vicinity of connector or toilets there. But this, never mind, Daffy was relentless. Shoots the man down, takes him out, and Copenhagen Flames win the 4th round. 3 people left alive, so decent enough for their reserves.
Well, bang, bang, he shot him down.
Nice.
And bang, bang, he hit the ground. It's going to be 4-1 in favor of the Copenhagen Flames. Getting yet another round for themselves. However, they were slightly struggling. TRK on the side, got 2 frags, and I'm not really sure why they didn't push in as a unit. Again, players going in 1 by 1, but in the end they did play together and had those fights going for them. Of course, they're now forcing MiBR back towards an eco because they weren't able to get some economy going by people staying alive on towards their 1 round. And that means we're now seeing Copenhagen Flames possibly extending to a 5-1 score. It will be pistols, of course. Will they be able to get some frags? Well, sometimes they will. It all depends on how they stack and how Copenhagen Flames doesn't use their utility and spreads out like they do now with Jabby going solo.
Well, but that might be the sort of lurker position, that player that can really surprise and sideline, perhaps counter or flank, although they should know that this is a pistol, that this is just an eco. They can have that intel, they should realize, and with that, you see Jabby going down, you see Fallen getting a free AK, and in the end, as much as he might have been in some sort of lurker position, of course, that doesn't really work out so well in an eco round.
Well, some damage being dealt by Fallen as he also goes low himself. I want to trade around with one of his teammates as now Daphne's under pressure with the Galila also falling. Basso and Manx, and even Basso once more will get those frags in return. Fallen, of course, wanting to save that AK as there will be a player spotted around that T-spawn area. Mertz taking some damage from the Deagle shots going through, I believe, the monster tunnel. That now means that we do see indeed the route going in favor of Copenhagen Flames, but yet they lost 2 players. Jabby, it's a waste. He was trying to hold off,
Yeah.
of course, a possible flank, but throwing utility just at the moment they peak, you will go down. Even if he would have had that first frag, there's a very good chance one out of those 4 players would get him in the end.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And with that now, Copenhagen Flames, though, they achieve their 5th round. And on Overpass, of course, this map is, well, still decidedly Copenhagen Flames, their ballpark. You know, it's a map where they have a way more convincing win rate, that 40% going in their favor, and MiBR just struggling behind with the 14. We'll see, though. They can still really turn this around, you know, but it is going to be that perhaps sort of, well, that ping-pong game that I've called it before, right? Where you get it being thrown back and forth round-wise, but I feel like what now is being thrown back and forth is buys for MiBR. They might get 1 buy round, they get fragged out by Copenhagen Flames, they're forced onto an eco or some sort of pistol armor, and then, you know, in the end, there isn't really much of a result. They basically have to toss in between those two, and with that, perhaps take a few more losses. But we'll have to see. We're still in the early part of the first half, so it could still go anyone's way.
It's going to be Jabby just holding off that long angle, but there won't be really a push happening from the side of the MiBR players. They're just trying to play the smart game now, as the barrel will go through the head of Mangs. But of course, he doesn't take any damage because it's just his friend. It's going to be first standing by close towards toilets, have some support most likely by Fallen and the AWP. As always, meaning it's going to be very hard to close out a kill on towards the player standing that close. Fallen now flashing himself in. If Merge will repeak, he will most likely fall. So there needs to be a flashbang coming in from the Copenhagen Flames. As there will be one, it's not good enough. There will be a lag shot on both players, actually. Ooh. It's a very good trade, very friendly.
Yeah, that's nice, you know, equalizes it out, and that's what you like to see. But right now, the frags are perhaps what we prefer to see, you know, that's a lot more decisive, a lot more indicative. Fallen here even can take out Manx now, though. And that does paint a bit of a more negative picture for Copenhagen Flames. Haven't really managed to get on top of a site yet. Jabby here could take out TRK from Monster if he is looking for the wrong way at the right time. And indeed, Jabby peeks in, takes out TRK. Bomb plant going in for Copenhagen Flames. KNG, he has a really solid M4 spray and hold. Double kill for him, but Mertz, oh dear, short indeed. And well, he gets shorted. MiBR take that 2nd round now. And Copenhagen Flames side have to take this loss. They, I believe, should be able to buy around this. I think they can go ahead now, but I say it with some hesitance. Oh. I have to admit that I might not have looked at those amounts just before the players passed away. But indeed, it looks like I was right. Clearly, I just need to be more confident about it. When I'm right, I'm right. And now this time
just
round...
gotta believe in yourself, man.
Yeah,
you got this. It's gonna be the buy from the Copenhagen Flames, most likely to come in. As indeed, they have the money. Of course, they also had a bomb plant, which really helps them. If they didn't have that, there might have been a slight problem for themselves. As we're going to see a double AWP coming down from the side of MiBR. Both Fur and KNG this time taking one. As Fur had that spawn for middle, will now be flashed out and has to fall back as well. And most likely trade around with his good friend Fallen. Dafu will extinguish the flames and then wait for a nade to come in before he actually moves through. And after the nade does come in, they will see Fallen jumping. They know they can't really contest that either because he can spray through the wall, but then usually there is a CT player spraying just a little bit better. As Fallen is doing some 360s and trying to look cool whilst not doing all too much.
It's important to look cool sometimes, you know?
Oh, yes.
That's,
How do you look cool normally?
Ooh, I think it's just a lot about that natural presence, you know? Just,
you
gotta be able to enter a room and just, you know, own it.
Sup,
it's me.
Dish
Guess
ya
who's
boy.
back? No, what?
Dish ya boy.
Oh yeah, interesting twist there. Anyhow, though, that Molly is thrown in a solid position, but it does only deal a little bit of damage on Manx. Of course, there has been some audio cues there for the MiBR side. Gives them at least one indicator of at least one player being there. Of course, there are many more waiting, ready to push through. I'm going to perhaps prefer that water position, although right now we can see the utility flying in. It's going to be Monster instead. And TRK's hold isn't solid. Basso takes him out. He tries to go for the fight. The repeak is there, and indeed, Dafu can follow it up with a flash from Mertz coming in. Fallen here, though. He's still hiding around in the site on this cheeky position. First smoked out, and he still can't see that much. Players are tossing around those smokes, and now, oh, that was a wallbang, I believe.
Oh yes, there was indeed a good tag on towards Dafu, who has upgraded towards that M4 rather than the Mac 10 he was holding before. Fallen already tagged up. That was due to a molly being thrown before they actually went for that take. Now it's a 4-on-3. They're still trying to do something on the MiBR side, but they really need to get some frags, and they won't. There will be KNG getting one, but he will fall. As it's going to be him trying to peek in once more. A 1v3. He knows he has to save. There will be a Copenhagen Flames with yet another round. 6 for themselves. Their T-side going rather well. And RJ. I look at the statistics. They've already equaled their T-side score, which they had yesterday against MiBR.
Oh, really now? Well, that's pretty solid. That's a good start for them then. Let's see now if they can keep that up, though. Really show that they are decisively better than MiBR this time around. That they've learned from yesterday and that they've perfected themselves, I think is the right way to put it.
The big thing is, they don't really go for A all that often if there is a full buy, because they know that, you see, Fallen will be standing there with an AWP, and Fallen is just a little bit too strong, because then you usually have, most likely, Taco standing on the B side. You can deal with him. Fur in the toilets. And Fallen and Fur together, just like buddies. Real good.
Best buddies.
Best buddies. They
FNF.
don't even have to communicate. They just know.
Yeah.
It's like that kind of friendship.
Well, that's the best kind of friendship, you know?
Unless if you still lose, then you might not be friends as long.
I think, well, I'd hope that they can kind of get over a loss, but I do think that there's a certain element for MiBR, a certain pressure of they should be able to perform it, they should be able to win this comfortably. And I think that pressure is also playing in the minds of the MiBR players, you know? They're thinking,
The angle is being held. There's going to be players in towards underpass, and there will be a tackle towards Basso. He's trying to move away desperately. And of course he can, because he has the swiftest hands and fingers in the world. Still, it's going to be him going low, and now the back possibly open for the side of Copenhagen Flames, which MiBR has already exploited before.
Absolutely, and the MiBR exploits are solid, and they do need to come in though, because right now we've only seen them, well, pull off 2 rounds so far. They're on the CT side, it's preferred, but that preference is also not really shining through, or well, that advantage, I should say, as small as it may be sometimes. Oh, Manx there takes out Fallen, good headshot through that door.
Just stayed on that push, would have had a frag later on, because they wouldn't have contested that position. That's such a shame. Taco standing by, Deagle in hand, he will actually be tagged out, but gets a kill. KNG gets 2. Meaning we now have a 1v2. And look at the time as well. Copenhagen Flames has to move. If they do manage to buck this up, there might be a chance for KNG. However, he won't go for a second shot. The bomb will be planted once to go to Heaven to have a higher ground. And it is over. I have the high ground, he says. Yet Mertz is saying, I'll just stand in the corner. You'll have to go for a peek eventually. You'll have to push me. And you can try. But you won't succeed. As he drops down his pistol to make it sound as if he has actually dropped. And now he will. Mertz hearing that as well. Moving up, spots the player. And we see KNG just trying to play it out. But now there will be a little bit of dance around the pillar. There will be a commit as well from Mertz. And so far he's been a star player that Copenhagen Flames need. As he gets kill after kill. And yesterday as well, he was that driving force behind the T side, or at least the Danish side, to topple the Brazilians.
Yeah, I'd say Mertz and Manx, they make a pretty good star duo. Those 2 players. Also, I still really like how Mertz and Manx, you know, it's like a...
Sounds great.
Yeah, like there's some sort of age-old duo, you know? I mean, throwback to Neo.
They should make
Neo
a
and
YouTube
Taz.
video.
Oh?
Mertz and Manx doing all the pranks. And then go to land and prank people.
Oh, Jesus
Or are
Christ.
pranks like 2019?
I think so. It kind of went out of, yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
Sorry.
It's kind of part, you know, of people not being able to go outside. You can't really do
that's
those kind of things
indeed.
anymore.
KNG now gets a frag on towards Jabby. That's the opening frag that MiBR needs to have a 3rd round for themselves. But of course, you also have to say, Copenhagen Flames already on towards 7. That's a very solid start. Will they be able to continue it, RJ? I'm hoping they can, because a little bit of an upset is always nice.
Oh, absolutely it is. And I'd say right now, things are still looking positively enough for Copenhagen Flames. Only 1 man down, that is a workable deficit. That is something you can go on through and that you can overcome. But right now, it might not be looking that positive anymore, as you see Fur taking out Basso. And now, well, either they really execute on the site here. That's a solid volley that's going to flash at the player, but the smoke is right there to cancel it out. And with that, you can kind of see Copenhagen Flames, they're struggling to get on top of the site. You know, they do have some utility, but I believe that they're not going to be able to hold it off. Although Manchester gets a good opening peak, but then, or pick even, but then you've got TRK coming in there, takes him out. A refrag being quite real. Dafu though, he can take out TRK now. And here this short position needs to be held off, but it isn't. As Fur from short can get the double kill. And that even being the third for him in this round. And so MiBR take a round again. And they might just now be starting to work back on the advantage that Copenhagen Flames has over them. Push it towards that 7th round. Make it a still somewhat decent enough CT side, but start by going for the equalizer. That's, you know, the kind of, or the milestone, the point that MiBR needs to reach firsthand.
We do now see Copenhagen Flames just stand there, a little bit flustered and most likely on an eco. That means the Glock train might soon come in. Choo-choo. They could...
But this is overpass, not train. What are you talking about?
There is a train here.
Yeah, there is.
I'm not really sure if it's a train or...
If it's the train to train.
Yeah. Oh, it doesn't really fit the scenery, but it would be great.
Would be fitting, right?
Would be nice if you just had the overpass
although,
and
to be fair, I don't know. I know that overpass is set in Germany, but is... Yeah, but is Germany, is train actually like...
No, that's in Soviet Union. There's in T-spawn there's a mosaic of Lenin, and I believe there's also symbols across the map.
Yep, exactly. What a shame. Well, maybe it's an overnight train, you know? Just goes for... Yeah, look at that. Maybe it goes for a bit of a ride. We'll see, though. Those are the things for the devs to decide and to figure out, you know? It's not our ballpark or not our decision to make. We'll see, though, now. I believe that was a tactical timeout that came in. I'm going to say perhaps from the Copenhagen Flames side.
Oh, they're forcing.
Yeah,
they be wild. They can buy 1 AK, 1 Galil.
Yeah, then I'm definitely saying that was a timeout from them. You know, they must have at least discussed some sort of particular tactic to make this force make sense. Because otherwise, that's a bold move, and I'd like to see it work out.
In the meantime, we do see B water control already being gained by Fur, standing by behind the smoke. Behind the smoke on towards Monster, however, there will be TRK standing by as he now has to aim for a very good spray down. Gets 3. As there will be 2 remaining players on towards Copenhagen Flames. Of course, players also with the rifles, yet they don't really stand a chance today.
That's smoke timing, by the way. That could have just as easily been TRK losing his life. Dafu from short, he's trying, he's fighting, but he can't really make anything connect. And now, this is very much already looking like an MiBR round. Fur does go down, though. Unless they get some really lucky shots in here, and it is slowly but surely starting to look like it, then this should be MiBR's round. But they are playing it patient. MiBR, of course, they have that time advantage, you know. They don't have the force on them to peak, plus they also have the bomb. So it's almost a given that this round is going to them, unless that they go for really unnecessary duels. You know, those silly 1v1 peaks that we've often, chastised.
Those are great. I'm not sure what you're talking about. 1v1 peaks, just trying to lose the round is the best thing to do, as we do see yet another player peak solo. Dafu new on 2 HP. He's still trying to hold on. 20 seconds left, and Mertz is actually sneaking towards the bomb, getting close towards TRK, who's of course still rather low. Spotted out, also fragged, 2 on 2, and with a flash to be thrown, there might be some pressure to cross towards the side. However, 2 AWP standing, 2 AWPs firing, and 2 players falling. 7-4, and MiBR now getting yet another round for themselves, and slowly they're building their way back. But their economy still not really building to the best of their abilities.
No, absolutely not. You know, you could see that MiBR had that, well, almost non-existent financial situation going on there. They barely had any reserves, and now you will see them buy again. Obviously, they've got utility, they've got the weaponry, etc. Everything that their hearts could possibly desire. But they're still going to have to make it work, and obviously, once again, you know, every round for them is just a little bit riskier. Oh, that nade, it could have been so good, but it went way too deep. And with that, Copenhagen Flames are not as tagged up as you might have hoped them to be. They are now, of course, on the eco themselves, and that's kind of the risk that MiBR runs as well. You know, if they do lose this round, which is very, very unlikely, they barely have the funds to really back them up
Well, there is a chance that those trains can always come in. True, but Taco will get the first frag. He will actually go low himself, but TRK will be standing by just to fall and eventually be refragged by Taco himself. It's gonna be, of course, a very good start for MiBR on their comeback. 5 rounds so far. Could go towards 8. And then there's a very good chance they can actually make it work as well. This round, easy as can be. Losing one player, sloppy, but well, it's still alright.
Yeah, and MiBR now, they are getting closer. You know, Copenhagen Flames only 2 rounds behind. And, well, 2 rounds still advantage. And MiBR now moving up. They can push this to the equalizer. They can get it to equal footing. And I would say that with that, Copenhagen Flames might not be looking so positive, you know, starting to lose that advantage and fallen as well. Look at how well he peeks out. Oh, the third was almost there, but he was just not quick enough. Jabby takes him out and makes it the 3v3. Now, MiBR looking to be, well, gaining back that advantage, I'd say. But as Dafu takes out KNG, that ambassador might come in, but oh, that is not a good spray down. I believe that with that now, we'll be seeing MiBR trying to play it down more slowly. He does peak well, though, there. That's pretty aggressive, but it ends up working out for him.
But he's low. Yeah. 13 HP, that could have gone either way. That's the 1v1 peaks you were talking about.
Yeah. But, and there's also the classic MiBR play. You know, that is what you can expect from them, what you can see them doing. But it is still a risk that they're taking, and one that sometimes, it makes you a bit afraid, you know?
Not just a little bit. Quite worried, to say the least. At least now we have a 2-on-2. It is MiBR trying to hold on and getting the frag as well, but there will be a very good wallbang coming in from Dafu. The last player, Taco, has to rotate still from the B side, and that's gonna take quite some time. Dafu, still on full HP, of course, able to get in towards a position which could favor him, as Taco has absolutely no clue where the player will be around. He will now try to pre-fire some things as Dafu is trying to move around, as he now knows he's coming from the trash can. It's going to be missed shots by the side of Dafu. Nate to come in will deal some damage. And the Molly as well might able to force him out. It's going to be Dafu peeking, Dafu falling. And also now Taco winning the round. Yet another for MiBR. But, well, we have to say, Copenhagen Flames choking on their T side once more. They should have been able to win this one.
Yeah, but I do want to, although I will say that this time around, MiBR, they do have the funds to back up another buy. You can see it as well, but it is still, for a moment, it looks a bit dangerous. You know, MiBR, they really fight out these rounds, and even if they do get the results in the end, and they can rebuy now, you can still keep it in the back of your head, you know, keep it in the back of your mind that things getting so close means that MiBR isn't very decisively winning, you know. They are pulling out these fights that are getting very close, and that means that at the turn or drop of a dime, it could go into the other team's favor. And that's something that worries me. Now, this time around, I'd say pretty decisively, this should be MiBR's round. They can make this the equalizer, the 7-7 scoreline. And, you know, looking at Copenhagen Flames, their weapons, Deagle's a Tech 9. Bit of, you know, pistol armor, I'd say, and hope for a bit of damage. But, hey, pistol armors, they've gone very interestingly sometimes. So also something to really pay attention to.
It's a Rec 9, baby.
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
they can make it work. Just call on believe. KNG going aggressive, and that might be the piece that Copenhagen needs. But if they don't commit and convert those kills, then, well, it will be hard. Will be spot on towards Furry. He now falls back as well, and there's still an aggressive player on towards Long. Fallen standing by, looking at the Long area. Now also to be spotted from the Long itself, as he wants to go for a toilet peek. Now there will be a rush coming in from the Tech 9. Oh, Jappy!
Oh.
That's slightly lucky, slightly calculated. And now we already have back a 4-on-4 situation with KNG pushing through once more, because he always likes to go aggressive. First, you need to strafe out a little bit more to the left to make that work, because of course that slash is quite annoying. KNG now also getting yet another frag, yet another headshot for himself. That's a triple. He'll get a 4th ace, maybe. No, Taco will deny him, and that will mean a 7-7 scoreline. And MiBR now having the odds back in their favor, and quite logically, because Copenhagen Flames are really slacking on their T side, but we saw that as well yesterday. But they were only able to get 6 rounds. It was quite a stretch.
But correct me if I'm wrong here, though. Look at this, right? KNG frags Manx.
Yes.
And you see Mertz, he's still scoping. He's still scoping. Shouldn't he have kind of known now that KNG was right there?
I think he was expecting a second player to peek in, and he was attempting to get that frag.
What a shame.
Yeah, well, you can always try.
Better luck next time, I'd say, right? Now, the problem is, of course, for Copenhagen Flames, they've just given off a serious advantage. Oh, this is a very rapid play by Manx, though, but it doesn't really, well, push through that well until he does go, and that's the 3rd kill for him. Now, this is very clear B-site control. Plant's already coming in. You can see the players rotating from MiBR, going for those heaven positions now. Fallen and together with him, solid nade stack, but it doesn't really hit anything.
It would have been great if you would have done that when the bomb was being planted.
Yeah.
However, you are now too late in a 2-on-3 situation as well. Still 2 flashes on towards Manx, a molly on towards Mertz. I dare to say this round is done and dusted, but there's still a smoke on towards first. Also, if they do get those kills in which they can't, there will be a very good chance for them. There will be more frags coming in. Manx with a ace actually at the end. That's a little bit of a surprise, but that is a very good ace in the end to make it in towards 8-7 in favor of Copenhagen Flames. This is of course their map pick, but they were stronger on the CT side yesterday. And with them already performing better on T side right now, maybe when they win the pistol, they can close it out with a easy, convincing score.
Absolutely. I'm just going to be curious to see where the pistol round goes, though. Copenhagen Flames now looking towards that CT side and looking to also be a little bit advantageous there. And of course, this is their map pick, so, you know, as you say yourself, they can kind of finish it off there if they want to. But MiBR, they are more up to par, I'd say, this time. You know, if I take a quick look back, if I turn the page, so to say,
oh my god,
and I go back to the last performance. Actually, MiBR. Oh no, that was Mirage. Never mind. Never mind. It's all good now. Copenhagen Flames, they just performed a little bit less confidently than they did last time, so this is manageable. This is not, you know, the end of the world. But still, MiBR getting closer, which does show that they might have learned from the last time that they played against Copenhagen Flames.
Well, Dafu going for an aggressive peek. Oh, that's a beautiful one-tap on towards Fallen. Disgusting, to say the least. And he wants to go for more. Mertz has been tagged up as well, so they now just need to turtle it out and hope the side of MiBR won't group all too much for themselves. There will be utility on towards one player. That is going to be Taco. They've also picked up some that, of course, was dropped by Fallen, who also had utility and no armor. Dafu still trying to play slightly aggressive, and this might actually cost him if he doesn't actually get the frag, because the players have now spotted him out. He has to fall back, he has to get some support, and there will be KNG trying to tap him out. So far, he's still alive fully, as Dafu is peeking in for yet another frag. It's beautiful, pink crosshair, as he also has a beautiful pink USP, and that means he is quite synergized with himself and his config, but so far no kills to come in. Manx, from your left, there will be some players moving in, and there will be a frag for Fur. Back to a 4-on-4. And now the pressure will be on towards that B side. Is there a player standing by? No, they have to rotate in, and there will be a smoke on towards CT, or rather Heaven as well. First takes down the bomb carrier. It's going to be TRK going down, but now the bomb plan still to come in, as Mertz will easily be refragged. If 3-on-3, they have to really get this push going. They need to get the kills fast, because if they don't, I'm scared that this might be the equalizer.
Oh dear, are you scared? I'm so sorry
yes.
to hear that. I do hope that the fright fades away eventually. Dafu, those are some delicious taps, but sadly, Basso now, he tries, it's a 1v2, and that's tough for him. He does have that defuse kit, but the time is still ticking, and now they're going to even push him to get some really solid headshots, but he doesn't. It's Fur. Goes for the third kill there, I believe, and very solid performance from him on this pistol round. That is the pistol round going to MiBR this time round. Last time it went, well, at the first half it went to Copenhagen Flames on their T side, but now MiBR, this might be the start and overpass that they need, and well, that could be a problem. Seeing as, you know, overpass, this is supposed to be Copenhagen Flames, their map. They are supposed to quite convincingly win this one, because once it goes to train, and it being MiBR's ballpark, their favored map, you start to worry. You start to think that maybe, just maybe, MiBR could be going for that grand final spot, which would mean, of course, facing off against the ever so fearsome Namib.
Some damage being dealt on towards Basso, with a nade being thrown out by Taco. It's going to be MiBR to slowly get some map control for themselves. First, trying to clear out the underpass area, as, well, usually those pistols might be playing there, and if you get rid of those, you will get rid of some flank positions from the Copenhagen Flames side. Actually interested to see that there won't be a single scout on their side, with that usually being a preferred weapon on towards that A side at this moment in time. Jabby spots a player, now tries to fall back a little bit and tries to go for a smoke as well, to at least chime them in towards the position he might be expecting. At least he could play a little bit better, but then he peeks out wide too short once more, goes down to KNG, and the side has been opened up by the side of MiBR. Going for the plant as well now, and there won't be a real flank to come in. Copenhagen Flames most likely on towards the safe, trying to do something more in the next round, where they would normally have to eco. And at least saving a pistol armor, possibly setting them in a better position, might favor them in the end.
We'll see, but right now, it looks to be Copenhagen Flames that aren't really, they aren't going to bother anymore.
Well, they have a decent set of
Yeah,
things. They have 3 Deagles, armor, some utility, and an MP9.
Yeah,
and you can still make it work in the next round. Of course, you know that MiBR won't be able, or most likely won't be able, to think that they want to upgrade. They have 2 Galils, 1 AK, 2 Mach-10s. They will just keep that because they know they're up against a Nico. But that might still disfavor them, as there is a very viable chance that Copenhagen Flames will be able to set up more correctly or more go aggressive.
Oh, but look at the MiBR hunt going on, though. As this Fallen, he might get one more frag. We do see it happening indeed. It's KNG and Fallen. He tried there, but he couldn't actually frag it out. Mertz did go down by the hands of KNG, though. In the end, Copenhagen Flames still preserving free players and keeping some armor there. At least I believe I believe Fallen KNG, did they go for the same player? I think they did, right?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so it's still
But
free armors.
The Mach-10 doesn't really deal as much damage through that wood that a Galil does, because bigger bullets, you know?
Wow. Wow, that sounds so logical, man.
I'm almost American. I know so much about weapons.
You know? Yeah. Oh well, let's see though if MiBR can use their weapon successfully now to push themselves towards the double digits. It is the first map of this match. It is a matchup that we've seen before, and I do want to say it again that MiBR is performing admirably so far. Better than we've seen them do in the past, so it could definitely be a good outlook for them. Could mean that if they keep this up, we would see MiBR taking the 10th round and eventually pushing out those double digits, going for a 12, a 14, and then all the way to 15, just to choke it out. No, that's mean. I gotta keep believing. I can't be
indeed
toxic.
Keep believing. There was an B stack coming in from the side of Copenhagen Flames, now trying to rotate back towards the A side. This time around, they might be a little bit more fierce on their plays, as there will be a first attack and frag to come out from KNG. He goes for more, but will be traded out by Basso, moving in with the Deagle, but of course also play with that Galil. It will be even worse with frag on towards the arcade, but Basso in the meantime has already fallen, leaving only Manx alive. He gets one of his own, as well. He now also has an MP9, but 2 players left standing on the side of MiBR. If he does get the first one again, it might get a little bit close, as he's waiting for a player to peek, but so far they're just playing it slow as well. The MiBR said, oh, that's a good frag. On towards Fur, and Fallen already on towards half HP. There is a good chance for him to get a frag, but Fallen will hold it down in the end with Mach-10 on rather long range, but it works. 10-9. MiBR now have the lead in towards this map once more, or actually maybe for the first time even, I have to say.
Yeah.
And that means Copenhagen Flames on towards their first buy round have to bounce back.
Absolutely, and do help me out here for a moment. It was MiBR, of course, starting that second half with the advantage, right? Yes, it was. I just had to look at it.
You know, Copenhagen Flames had the 8-7 score, and then eventually with the pistol round, everything just turned upside down.
And that's kind of where it all went wrong, I suppose, right? That's kind of where you can look at it going, oh dear, oh no, oh no. But MiBR then with that now putting down that 3-round streak, which is solid from them. But the hope is also that they can keep that up now, that they can actually continue that streak, because otherwise Mertz starts this off well, takes out Taco. He's quite heavily tagged himself. But I can see it happen that, you know, it does go wrong again for MiBR, that they get so close, and that will yet be so far.
Well, it's going to be at least a 5-4 situation. Mertz, as you said, very low from his fight against Taco, but he was able to devour him in the end. And now we're waiting for the first frag to come in for the MiBR side. They're trying to play around that 8 side, trying to possibly split it by both going via toilets and going via long. But, well, the first player peeks in is going to be KNG, going down to the hands of Mertz. Flash assist for his opponent, so that's quite nice, as you do see Fur now standing close, but Manx now also holding this angle as well. They're just waiting for MiBR to make the move and possibly make the mistake.
Yep, and who knows when that mistake will come in. They've already lost 2 players. Mertz is low HP, so, you know, a bit of utility would help them out, but Jabby, Mertz, they keep it up. They are so good. Fallen, though, that's a solid spray transfer. Very well done by him. Takes out Mertz. Of course, most of the work already being done, but Fallen now only 13 HP left. He can commit to the plant, get some money in MiBR's pockets, and he does have that now. Fallen gets this frag. The third was there, but the fourth isn't quite there. As Basso takes him out, and you've got a smile on your face. Tell me
just
why.
ran through, I believe, almost fully flashed.
Yeah,
And he had absolutely no clue where the player would be standing. It's just maybe a little bit wild for my taste, but at least they do win the round. 2 players still remaining, an AWP and an AK saved, and even some utility on Stafu. Of course, they can drop it out, but look at the economy on the side of MiBR. They will also try to at least get a decent buy-in, and of course, they will have some money. But they are also now running down on their reserves, and they will have almost nothing left apart from Fallen and a little bit who now spends it all, and TRK having 1,000.
And with that now, it is a risky business or a risky position that MiBR finds itself in. Copenhagen Flames could equalize this out, get their 10th round in, and with that, of course, meaning that they would actually be also looking at MiBR being completely outplayed economy-wise. It would only be TRK with that 1,000 left, but just that 1,000 is not enough. And Mert starts it out once again. This is quite consistently now that he's opened up a round again and that he gets those first defensive frags. We'll see if he can keep that up.
But it seems to be so easy, just holding an angle, waiting for the players to move in, and no utility being exploited by the side of MiBR to actually do something against it. KNG now trying to slowly force his way on towards that B side. Utility now also falling. And ooh, that's a smoke bait to make them think there might be a player at barrels. Basso doing that to perfection, and there was no player standing by. Dafuna getting the frag onto Taco. And that means we're now having a 5-3 with still so many players standing by here from the Flames side. It's going to be MiBR trying to go for that A take. Jabby still in toy is making maybe a little bit of noise as he's indeed trying to free fire, and then he will be taken down by TRK. That's at least something going back in favor of the Brazilian side, but they need to get so much more. They need to get a few frags, get a bomb down, and KNG is still trying to lurk around on towards the B side. One player soon to be found. He's going to take down Dafu. But look at the player on the water. It's going to be Basso getting one. Now the bomb is stopped in its tracks. He has to be flashed out, which won't really happen because the flash goes too far. There will be a very good peek coming down. And now only Manx is alive, but look at the HP on towards TRK as well. He's actually expecting TRK to go towards the A side, and that is a very bad call coming in from Manx. As, of course, you could expect a player to still come towards B. Maybe just expected him to do something differently, as Max also taking some damage, dropping down a little bit too aggressively. It's a little bit of waste now, also taken down by TRK. The clutch going in favor of MiBR. They have now the lead on towards 11-9. Copenhagen Flames just not playing that out too well.
No, it's a shame really, because you can't expect better from them, and it's starting to be a worrying outlook because you've got that situation where Copenhagen Flames, they are now getting a bit of a disadvantage going, and it's a problem because Copenhagen Flames, they are on their own map pick, they are on the CT side.
Oh yes.
They've got those two things favoring them. It's overpass, as I said, their own map pick. They've also got the win rate in their favor, 40% going up against MiBR's 14%. And yet all of those things, you can still see Copenhagen Flames kind of losing it out. It's a situation where you'd quite, confidently say, okay, MiBR, they might actually be able to push this ahead now. Of course, they don't have the best of buys right now. I believe it's going to be kind of a halfway in between kind of buy. And with that, I do wonder how they're going to play out this next round. Although I do suppose that looking at the financial side of Copenhagen Flames, their buy is going to be even worse because they are basically on an eco with Deagles.
And they didn't save anything, and of course their loss bonus is almost 0, which means they have to just do something with their 5-7. And of course the Deagles to go with. Do they have utility? Yes, one wholeheartedly smoke.
Wow.
Which of course will deny everything on the side of MiBR. But Basso standing by, there's a lot of players in towards toilets, and Furry's going to peek, and he will get the first frag. Now they see another player as well, they try to hunt him down. As it's going to be the rotate back towards the A side from the side of Copenhagen Flames, trying to stack up there. Still one player in the underpass. Still one player quite close towards the A side in toilets. And Manx is a little bit worried to be flanked out as there are players just a little bit closer from the other side. Oh, that's almost a choke. He at least drops down that AK, now rotates towards the B side. As well as, of course, already having a teammate there. They will try to hold down MiBR. They're making a lot of noise. They should now notice. They should now go for that rotate. Maybe one through underpass to actually collect that AK. That got the first frag on towards Dafu. Will now get another one, possibly. It's going to be the rest of the team already fragging. And Jabby, the sole member alive with that deagle. Just go for that AK save, I dare to say. It's the best thing you can now do, apart from, of course, getting some juicy 1-deeks.
And we love to see those juicy 1-deeks happen, you know. Jabby here, he's got one so far, make it a second. And now, if he might get that third, he could actually potentially go on top of the bomb site. He doesn't have a defuse kit, but it could be something. TRK, though, frags him out, and it's a shame. There was potential, but sadly, TRK was just too fast for him. And now that means MiBR gets the 12th round, and now is 3 rounds ahead. And with that, I wonder what Copenhagen Flames is going to bring up against them. Will it go to overtime? Probably not. I dare say that, you know, the odds aren't, they're not the worst. You know, we've seen way worse odds for overtime, so to speak, that in the sense that, you know, it's been a way heavier or higher number on yes, but I don't see this happening now. I might even, if Copenhagen Flames can't take it back this round or the next, I might actually see MiBR winning this out, and that is a dangerous outlook for the Copenhagen Flames. I see you frown. How dare I not believe in the Danish Flames?
Yeah, they've already, of course, had their good friends of Singularity win this map against MiBR before, but indeed, there might be a chance. Copenhagen Flames, of course, playing against MiBR on this map yesterday as well, might have given away a little bit too much information, as we now see that take once more go towards the B side. I'm very confused as to why there was only one member standing by on towards that B bomb site, and with him falling, there was nobody to rely on. The rotate was rather slow. And we do now see that bomb plant indeed come down from the side of MiBR. There will be utility, yet the utility won't really get them around as of yet. And that just means a little bit of delay, a little bit of waste, and possibly even a save from Copenhagen Flames, because I'm not really sure if you want to go for this take if you don't have the kills.
See now, oh, that's a good nade though. Jabby goes down to that. Had, of course, already quite low HP. And we see Fallen continuing the hold. Mertz taken out. Basovir goes to this engagement, but he can't quite connect it, can't take anything out. And now that makes it for the save. You know, obviously Copenhagen Flames, they realize they can't risk this anymore. They just have to take it away and preserve that AWP. Fallen is at the ready, but he won't be getting any extra bags anymore as a matter of... Oh, never mind. I was wrong. Clearly, I thought Basso's hold was strong enough.
He's way too fast, man. You can't hold that man down.
You can't, you know, yeah.
He might just be getting a little bit older every year, but still he's as fast as can be. 13-9 in favor of MiBR, and so far it seems like they are slowly building towards their first map win. And I expected, actually, looking at this being overpass, there to be a very good shot that Copenhagen Flames was able to bring it back, but now they just have the day to be on towards Mertz and Pistol Armor to go with for the rest of the players. And that is not really the greatest outlook.
And no, definitely not. But what is at least somewhat of a great outlook is the things for MiBR right now. They've got a pretty solid bet now on this 14th round, at least unless Mertz's AWP comes in clutch, which he has done before. He's gotten a couple of solid, well, opening frags for the Copenhagen Flame side of things. But he will have to pull that off again, and he is the only player who can really, well, deal a lot of damage. You know, he does have those pistols backing him up, but at the end of the day, you know, I would prefer to have an M4 or an AK backing me up than a pistol when I'm playing AWP, but maybe that's just me, you know?
Ooh, the shot being missed out by Mertz on towards KNG, of course, trying to jiggle peek as much as he can, as Basso takes down 2, and that's the short pressure gone for the side of MiBR, as more shots will be fired towards the direction, and of course the rotate now going towards A most likely, because you don't want to mess with Basso.
No, clearly not. That's insane. Very well done by him. Who knows? Now I kind of hope to see some sort of insane Deagle ace clutch, but that won't happen anymore by the looks of things. Or at least Jabby does get taken out. Maybe it does still happen, but now it won't happen anymore as TRK frags him out, goes to Fallen, goes to the plant, and now it is MiBR playing the after plant again against a AWP and that deal in the hand of Manx. Manx does have that diffuse kit on him, so that is a little bit of extra time he has in his favor. But sadly, I don't believe that Copenhagen Flames will win this. As a matter of fact, you can already see them going for the save. Take that AWP with you, try it in the next round, but I feel like it's vital for Copenhagen Flames to kind of recognize, you know, how close MiBR is getting to winning this map. And I've said it before, if MiBR does win this map, statistically, you know, there were a couple of factors that were definitely in Copenhagen Flames' their favor. And Manx gets a solid frag there at the end, but With only Fur being taken out and the reserves being very, very real on the MiBR side, that doesn't really matter all that much in the end. I mean, look at the amounts of money on some of these players, you know. We're talking something close to 10,000 even almost on Fallen, for a moment there at least. So MiBR can just comfortably buy through, whilst Copenhagen Flames now, well, you can see them buying up. You can see Mertz, he can, of course, play with that saved OWP. It's a full buy, without a doubt. The Copenhagen Flames are only 2 rounds away from losing their first map, and that is a serious, serious problem for them.
Well, so far it's going to be Mertz going aggressive towards the B water area. There will be a molly, there will be some teammates who stand by, and there will be a very good flash taking down Fur. TRK, however, standing by to get a refrag in and now get the pressure on himself, leaving Dafu a little bit wandering and falling back. It's going to be so far MiBR at least gaining some ground, because of course a trade is quite well in their favor. That's going to be Dafu, still trying to flash out more players, just wasting a little bit of utility. But as you said as well, only 2 more rounds needed by MiBR to win this map and then actually deny Copenhagen Flames their own mapping. This will be some good aggression, at least 1 kill in return, and then just fall back towards the side, have that player advantage, and try to play it out accordingly, because so far their gamble's not really paying off on the side of Copenhagen Flames. And now they just need to play as a unit. No need to overpeak, no need to overaggress anymore. Just try to trade 1 by 1, and you will always win the round if you do have a player lead. Good frag from Basso on towards TRK, leaving only 2 more members standing, and they will go towards that A side, where KNG is once more leading the charge, this time also being peeked out by a jumping player behind the side boxes, and that's a very good peek from Dafu. Only Fallen alive in a 1v4, he's slowly moving up.
And who knows, you know, Fallen, at the very best, he might be able to hope for 1 or 2 more exit frag. But, oh, actually, is he going to go for this? No, of course not. He doesn't have the time, and he might be able to spot Jabby hopping about here.
1 tap on the head.
Yeah, that would be...
If he jumps 1 more time, you should get him.
That would be
I would
very
always
clean.
miss 10 out of 10 times, but it's Fallen, man. Wait, they didn't pick up the AWP from short yet, and I'm expecting them to do so, unless if MiBR would have thrown that one away, but I don't know if they had the time for it, so that's a little bit of a waste. No AWP being saved, and they don't actually have the funds to buy a new one, I believe.
Wait, really?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's mighty peculiar. Why would you do that?
Well, I think maybe it was blown away by
Yeah, I
a nade,
suppose
or
that-
maybe
yeah.
MiBR just throwing it away somewhere where the side of Copenhagen Flames wasn't able to recover it. And oh, they will have 1. But I didn't see it being saved, and that was a little bit worrisome for me. Copenhagen Flames now still up against the odds, quite big, as we can now see. As, of course, they have that AWP merge. He is burning. 21 HP, but still surviving. Going for the aggressive peek. Once more for the opening kill. KNG going down, but TRK once more with a refrag, and this time he makes it a double. Basso going down. Only 2 more players standing on towards this B side, with 1 actually pushing towards A long. MiBR might be expecting only 1 player to be here, however. So if they do push through, they might go down in towards a fury of frags. Defu and Manx both going down, leaving only Jabby alive. And I dare to say, even if it is 1v3, you might want to go for a save, because there's little to no chance that without a defuse kit, you will win this round.
Yep, and I think altogether, you know, it's a 3v1. I don't see Jabby pulling that off. Goes for a somewhat spray down, but they know that he's right there. They tag him through the smoke even. Fulham takes him out. And we are now on that 15th round. And now with them being able to recover those 3 weapons, you can see plenty of money on the Copenhagen Flames side. So their buy will be decent enough. It'll do, of course, it'll do. But I do worry, you know. I see MiBR still kind of wasting this potential that they have now. I wouldn't be surprised if at some critical point Copenhagen Flames, you know, I'm thinking back to yesterday now, and Rice as a player is defusing. KNG misses the most important shot in the world.
Yes.
It would be, you know, it's a very real opportunity, a very real chance.
Do you have flashbacks already?
Yeah, oh yeah, I had nightmares about that, you know. Why do you think I didn't sleep so well tonight?
Oh, that explains so much, as we do see Mertz with the opening kill. Will almost pluck himself out, but is locking himself out as he's going to go back towards that A side. TRK slowly moving over the AK, or so it seems with the flashbang he froze. He wants to join up with his team once more, go for that B aggression. There's 2 players standing by. 3 players from Copenhagen Flames that could go via underpass to flank, but well, if the side is already being routed towards that T-side players, it's going to be hard to retake. Execute now coming in the first frag, coming in from Taco as well. Good flash on towards Dafu. He can now get 1 frag, make that almost a double. Now you have a 3-on-3 and only one player actually rotating quickly enough. Banks gets one, drops a bomb, but it will be a retake once more by TRK. And that means we now have a 2-on-2 situation. MiBR going for the plan. Jabby trying to move in, he gets one. And there's a good chance that he will get a second as well, as KNG slowly moving back with 45 seconds left. And, well, the bomb still being dropped. Mertz also standing here. He might be fragged if he doesn't expect that flank to come in. And KNG, well, he's slowly getting there. But Mertz is also holding the angle.
Oh, yeah, I think Mertz should frag him out. And indeed, there we go. AWP shot takes out KNG. A bit of a shame, but sadly not much potential. And MiBR now on the 4-round advantage still. They can play this out. But Copenhagen Flames, I would not be surprised if I see them play this out to overtime, because Lord knows. Well, actually, I'd say the last 2-3 days we haven't really seen that much overtime, have we?
No.
It was really
yesterday
like
we haven't seen a single overtime, which was so concerning to me.
Yeah, the overtime insanity was kind of more like for the beginning of the week. Now
the first two groups, and then
now we're in a, you know, it's a new week, it's a new day, and I can't remember how the rest of that song actually goes. But KNG opens up this round while Jabby taken out. Also, very little utility really left on the Copenhagen Flames side. And, but KNG, solid repeat, luckily coming in by Fur. Although Fur actually takes out another player. Mertz has to fall back onto the site, and Basso throws the frag back. Oh, but is Mertz going to expect this long push? He does take out the first player, but they immediately push him ahead. Misses a critical shot, potentially. Although Basso luckily comes in and can take out TRK. Taco goes for the engagement, pistol in his hand. And, oh no, wait, he goes to the knife, but of course he ran out of ammo. So, if he'd gotten that knife, that would have been a cheeky little frag, to say the least.
Well, so far it seems as if Copenhagen Flames is struggling on towards their own map pick. This might be a map and, of course, maybe also a series win for MiBR. If they win this series against the Danes, they will be in the playoffs, which, well, we expected from the get-go, but they disappointed on the first day.
They took the long way around.
Yeah, well, longer
they took
route,
the
more
scenic
matches,
route.
And, well, the more matches we see MiBR, the better, because we like to see them, because sometimes they do give us some great plays to also commentate on. It's going to be, of course, a full buy coming in from them this time around after just boosting on the eco, but dealing some significant damage. The problem is that the Taco has now also gone down to Manx, and there's still that chance that Copenhagen Flames will bounce back and bring it to overtime.
Absolutely. Copenhagen Flames now only 3 rounds away from overtime, and you don't like to be playing for overtime, but in the case of Copenhagen Flames now, with this being their map pick and their supposed territory, it's the best that they can do. You know, they should really, really do their best. They should really just try and battle it out up to that point. But right now, I do worry a little bit. Oh, but this is a solid start on the site. There is damage on
There's players on long. It's going to be Mertz with the first frag. Still another one in toilets as well. Mertz maybe getting a second, but he will go down to KNG. Back to a 3-on-3, but look at the rotations already coming in. One player close in the smoke at Dumpster. He's not really daring to push. Look, of course, also at a very quick flank to come in here from Jabby. He's moving in slowly. Sees one player, gets the first frag, wants to go for a second, but he grabs some utility. That's however takes one in return, leaving only KNG alive. And it's AK, he gets one, but almost a second. That was just a little bit too good. And we go to 15-13 as the AWP needs to be recovered, of course. He has a kit, so no worries. And it will be now a chance for Copenhagen Flames to push more and more on towards the MiBR side, who will, with their loss bonus, maybe be able to buy.
I would have hoped that the remaining player on the MiBR side had fallen back a bit more there, but he barely had the time to pull that off, really. So, you know, it could have maybe worked out, but I believe also if we're going to see it here in the replay, you can see the frags also flying to and from, you know. And then Basso, he does go down, but immediately, you know, KNG here, he has to just go for that engagement because Dafu quite aggressively peeks ahead of him. But he does succeed with that, and Copenhagen Flames take their 13th round. And overtime is looking more and more likely. I was considering putting something in on overtime on Fire.gg, but I didn't do it. And now I regret it.
You little scaredy cat, you.
Yeah.
Going to be the pistol rush coming in. TRK with an opening frag on towards Basso. Tech 9 in hand as he's racing through. Almost getting a second frag, but Fur will have that refrag and fallen as well. We lose to a pistol armor, maybe a Nico, you dare to say, as it's going to be Copenhagen Flames having Mertz to refrag twice with Jabby as well. KNG now the sole member alive, and this is a good bounce back from the CT side.
And Jabby's expecting this as well. He's looking, he's seeing, and indeed, he's waiting. KNG goes down, and MiBR, they do love making it mightily close. And of course, we did see that yesterday as well on Overpass. We had that. Let me have a look-see. Yes, indeed, the 16-14 result, but then it was in favor of Copenhagen Flames. So now there is that potential chance that maybe that 16-14 will go the other way around, that they will go in favor of MiBR.
But we shouldn't forget that a 16-14 seems close, but Copenhagen Flames had a 15-9 lead at a certain point. And MiBR just streaked together a few rounds, and in the end, they just fell short to Copenhagen Flames eventually just pushing on towards the B side as the Ds. There's going to be a chance for overtime indeed. There will be an AWP on towards Merge, but there will be a frag going in favor of Ver. And there will be a refrag. Merge just too strong on that CT side. Whenever he gets a chance, he will just take someone down. And Jabby, he's also possibly going aggressive, but he doesn't have any support. Now spotted out, will smoke it out, and now go for a flashbang as he goes around the corner. Oh, he actually goes on towards a flower bat, and they won't be expecting this. This is a very greedy play, but he will be spotted out from a long, long range. Now he goes rather low as well. Falls back, he is still safe, and he deals some damage with the nade as well. Ever so slightly, only 2 HP down on towards TRK. Was going to be Mert, still standing by the AWP, going for another frag of his own. Again, to gain the player lead in favor of his team. Going more aggressive in front of that smoke, and there will be a flash, but that is going too deep. Mert with a second, and still a chance for Copenhagen Flames to come back with Jabby, of course, being low. And now just trying to anchor on towards the side.
And now you would expect a frag to be going the MiBR way of things, because that's how it's been going in the last 2 rounds. You know,
oh no!
Mertz, that's a critical shot. You shouldn't have missed that. He can catch it up, though. Fallen goes down by Mertz's hands. Further takes the frag back. The second isn't there, though. That leaves only Taco, and now he's in a nasty position. Spray down is good, and no, he can't transfer it. Copenhagen Flames, they push it to overtime. And so far, the first, or well, the second overtime of today. And maybe, just maybe, you know, we're going to be catching up on some of the overtimes that we missed today. It was really close, those last 3 rounds. You know, we saw, I think, twice a 1v1 situation. And every time it looked as if MiBR was finally going to finish it out. But once again, MiBR, they like to make it, you know, nice and challenging, nice and tough. And they maybe just prefer to get their win on the overtime. You know, they haven't quite gotten enough yet of Overpass. They want to enjoy the scenery, the sound of that train passing by, all the lovely sounds of Overpass for just a little while longer.
Well, of course, Copenhagen Flames, if they want to win, most likely they need to win right here because their Inferno win rate, terrible.
Yes.
And if we go to a third map, I'm scared that MiBR will just once more rack up the Danes, just like they did against Singularity just a few hours ago.
Absolutely.
It was a 16-3 in favor of those Danes, and that is maybe just way too much for the side of Copenhagen Flames to bear in the end.
That's scary, almost. That would really be putting them in quite the heat, you could say,
oh, yes.
on Inferno, when they're called the Flames. So they should be able to handle the heat, but right now, at times, I've been doubting that. I've been doubting how well Copenhagen Flames can really deal with the MiBR pressure. For now, they've maintained, but now in this overtime, this is going to be the telling tale, the telling moment. Will MiBR once again play out an overtime in a rather confident 19-16 scoreline? Or is this maybe going to be the one where Copenhagen Flames take it back themselves and really punch up against that MiBR force and against, well, supposedly still one of the top 20 teams in the world?
So far, we're waiting for Copenhagen Flames to possibly get a peek with Mertz because they're really banking on that player to get those opening kills. And he's standing mighty close here, but also mighty dangerously because there might be a flash coming in, then he might be messed up. He will at least smoke one part and go back towards the side. Jabby is playing close on towards long, having some support as well from Mertz now looking in that direction. TRK once more trying to contest. This time his flash a little bit closer. So will be the pre-fire from Mertz. He will not be expecting Jabby, but as Jabby goes for a mighty big pre-fire, then he might be expecting it in the end. Will be Mertz trying to peek in. He will actually miss his first shot. Will go for a second soon. This will be Jabby taking down TRK. Mertz will follow up as well towards KNG. This is a very good start. Almost a second as well for Mertz, but he will get it in the end. Only fallen alive in the 1v4. And he has an AWP in hand, not really the best weapon. And look at the time as well. Only 15 seconds left. It's going to be well, melting my brain. Because
Clearly,
Copenhagen Flames is now suddenly coming back in the end.
It's okay, it's okay. And oh, falling goes down at the end by the hands of Basso. And it's okay, you know, sometimes you can't really, you just can't deal with it. It's just absolute insanity that you see on the screen in front of you, and you just go a little bit mad. I think we all have that sometimes, so don't feel too guilty about that.
Thank you.
We'll be seeing, though, now if MiBR can take it back in the second round. It is overtime, so financials are not a concern whatsoever, not in the slightest. The only way that you can really wreck your financials in overtime is if you consistently go for a double AWP setup or a triple or something. But that's not the case here. Both teams are playing it clean enough, so right now it is really a battle of the skill. And Copenhagen Flames in the first round so far has proven that they are quite confidently doing better in that regard, but it can still go anyway. That nade, though, is a little bit of a starter. Nothing too wild, like a small dish that you get when you go to a restaurant, just to get a taste, a feeler. And that's what that damage is a little bit like. Trust me, I'm really not that hungry.
All right, all right.
No, I am.
We did see Fallen hold down the angle towards water, a angle most often peaked by Mertz in their regular time CT side. And he was expecting that to maybe just go for a peek again. That would be an opening kill rather than KNG just running in there with the AK and dying every time. But this time, they don't do that with Copenhagen Flames. They're saying we shouldn't be as that predictable, and then we're gonna maybe push out of Monster again like we did before, and then Taco will be standing by. He will be getting the first frag, will be almost getting the second. Defu with the refrag, and now they will be pushing towards that A side. Jabby once more, same position as the last round. Now they are playing predictable. Mertz trying to move back. He at least now drops the bomb on towards KNG. He will be mollied off from the truck position. He'll still be standing by. We'll take a frag on towards CRK, but Fur takes out Manx as well. Still a 2-on-2. And Dafu takes down Fallen, leaving only Fur alive. A 1v2. The time is ticking down once more with 20 seconds left. They throw the smoke, which could have actually favor Fur as well. He's trying to pre-fire. He's trying to get the kills in, but Mertz with the last one as well. 17-15. And Copenhagen Flames, they are making it work.
Absolutely, you know, quite confidently as well so far. 2 rounds for them, and 2 rounds both in the overtime. And we'll see now towards the, well, last round on the CT side for the Copenhagen Flames, as they can use that advantage to make it a 3-round streak in their favor. That would, of course, be quite impressive, and that would also mean that going to the T side for this overtime, they would only need the 1 round to bring it back.
Do see the mollies, of course, coming down from the get-go. There will actually no smoke to be thrown down by the side of MiBR. Jabby, you're going aggressive, and you might be expected, because the noise you're making, it's too easy for TRK to get a frag. That's so wild. I dare to say sloppy as well from the Copenhagen Flames side. Not a single piece of utility thrown, apart from those incendiaries, which you always try to throw. And I don't understand what you were expecting. You need a flashbang or 2 to help you out there. And there wasn't anybody clear, or actually anybody near to help you. It's going to be Basso trying to push down the player on towards short, and they will fail because Fur from the underpass will get yet another kill. It's going to be Fallen once more, taking the angle with the AWP, just waiting for them to re-peek. Because there is a good chance that Copenhagen Flames will over-aggress, trying to get some kills in return. And as KNG has a great flick on towards Manx, it's going to be the 4-on-2. That could have been a chance, but it wasn't able to eventually be converted.
And we'll see now, this is quite favorably in the eyes of MiBR. Only Mertz and Basso staying alive. Mertz here, though, he sees Fur, gets that pick on him, and now 2v3. That's a bit of a turnaround. Could still go towards the favor of Copenhagen Flames, depending, though, how the rest of MiBR now executes onto this side. If Taco goes through Monster here again, waiting, of course, for the rest of his teammates. That's a good smoke coming in by Mertz to delay. Oh, this is bold. Oh, this could be very good.
He's at least now playing around the players of MiBR, and there's one moving through, but one still on the sandbags. It's going to be Fallen. Falling! But there's still a player next to him. Taco with a frag on towards Mertz. It's going to be Basso. Moving around also now with an AWP in hand, trying to clutch his 1v2. There's one on the side, actually one also more towards long, but close towards the side. And those no-scopes, they would have been incredibly lucky if they would have had a hit. And it's going to be eventually KNG closing things down, 17-16, at least manageable for the side of MiBR to come back. But Copenhagen Flames, they now need 2 more rounds to close out this map in their favor.
Absolutely, and well, this can work for them, of course, but at the same time, I'm starting to invite the real risk. You know, if MiBR now started out really well on the CT side themselves, then it's a bit dangerous, you know. If they now get that 17th round, it's going to be a bit to and fro. And of course, it has to be said, could just as easily go into a second overtime.
Ooh, second overtime, baby. There's always a chance.
Yes, always.
As long as you keep believing.
Don't
there
stop
isn't
believing.
a 30 frag yet on the side of MiBR. They're just fragging together, hand in hand. And on the side of Copenhagen Flames, Mertz has currently been that star player. 35 frags so far, doing most of the work. But of course, needing his team to step up as well towards a T side, because an AWP just can't win the round alone. He can only open things up. As we're going to wait for, of course, MiBR to go maybe a little bit aggressive in AWP on towards Fallen. Most likely also an AWP to come down towards KNG, because that second AWP for them has worked out wondrous. And looking at the economy, they will indeed have those two ops going for them.
And I do wonder, though, if that's going to work out. It is a bold move, but I do believe that Fallen is a solid player. Could, you know, I believe, doesn't he also have history as an AWPer, normally speaking? I thought he did.
Well, everyone has some history as an AWPer.
Everyone at some point, you know, handled that AWP. Well, let's see if it works out for them. Mangs here pushes through Monster. TRK should be ready to hold that off. Smoke is quick to cancel out the molly. Mangs, though, can take out Fallen. It's an opening made here onto that B bomb site. And KNG, though, the hold is good. Taco TRK coming in as well. But Taco, will he be quick enough to notice that player coming through the smoke? The bomb is also dropped. And that is not favorable for Copenhagen Flames.
And of course, this Mertz just sneaking around with the AWP in his hands now, actually making some noise as well. So Taco might have an ID where he is. Fur, however, still holding towards his water. Will peek in towards Mertz and will get a frag as well. Only Jebby alive in a 1v2. He's moving up with the volley now towards Monster, trying to hold off that player moving in. But Fur now with the AWP is holding the angle. Taco just playing a little bit more passively, soon to come in for a peek. But it will be Fur to close things down. Equal score once more, 17-17. And MiBR might actually win this map still. They just need, just like Copenhagen Games, 2 more rounds.
Yep, it's an equal footing that they're both on, and it's going to be interesting to see whom the 18th round is going to go to. Personally, at this point, it might be MiBR. They could be in a bit of a, well, how do I put it? In a bit of a mood right now, in a favorable headspace, so to speak, and that could work out for them. But we'll have to see. Maybe it is also Copenhagen Flames not doing it as well as you might expect on their T side. Although it got quite close at the end, they can't quite finish it off.
It's going to be Fallen actually trying to contest that underpass area, something which is quite hard as an AWP player, as also now we do see mid control coming down from the side of Copenhagen Flames. Fur will be supporting and nobody has actually watched that direction, and still they don't get any damage done towards them. Messer with the flank, gets a double kill. It's a very good refrag, but he is now low. And there's still KNG trying to, of course, contest with his AWP, but he was smoked off for the time being. It's going to be most likely a B execute to come in from the side of Copenhagen Flames. Only one player actively standing by. A second in the form of Taco, most likely to join TRK soon. Those 2 rifles need to come in clutches. There will be a new resmoke coming in on towards Monster. But TRK will go low, however, takes down Mangs, and that brings it back to equal numbers, baby.
Oh, let's go. But let's see, though. Some utility flying through still. TRK here, he's checking those angles. And for Basso, really, it just needs to be one spray down. KNG takes him out. It ends up being a wallbang by the looks of things. Now Mertz is facing off, and oh, it's only Dafu left. Quite a bit of damage dealt on him now, though. 14 HP is not a lot to work with, and TRK here, he only needs to hit 1 shot. It could be anywhere. It could be in his little toe for all he cares. But now, there was a chance there, you know. You could see how low those players went.
He tagged up TRK while moving and already shooting on that first frag, but unable to respond in time to both players standing there. A very good attempt. And now we have a map point in favor of MiBR. And I have to say, once again, because they were there before, we went to overtime, and maybe now they can finally finish things off?
Maybe. I do think that right now it seems like the CT side is a little bit in favor of MiBR in the sense that they now know better how to play with the time. That's kind of the impression that I'm getting here. You know, at the end they also noticed that the MiBR players, they waited it out, they let the Copenhagen Flames players push up, let them come to them, and with that, you know, use the advantage of the CT side. You don't have any pressure on you. You have to just wait for your opponent to do something. But Right now, the question is, where's that first frag going to go to? It's MiBR holding their angles. They're being under control. Jabby here, tossing that utility up towards toilets. But is he actually going to get a frag? Because Fur here could be coming in from Connector. At the same time, though, there could be a player surprising him. Jabby here at party. But will he have a party in a moment as Copenhagen Flames gets it to the second overtime? It will be MiBR partying it out. And oh, Fur. That's a dirty kill, but it does succeed. Fallen in the meantime, he takes out Manx as well, and this is not looking favorable for Copenhagen Flames. They need to win this map. Fur pushing through. Is Basso going to expect this? He should.
The smoke will go down, and eventually Basso will get a frag, forever dealing a lot of damage. And now we have most likely an A play to come in from the side of Copenhagen Flames. Fallen standing by with the AWP will have some support as well from Taco. And together, they will try to make this work. With 35 seconds left on the clock, a smoke now only to go down. And it just wastes so much time in favor of MiBR. Taco playing behind it as always. Still, I dare to say, maybe from the smoke you could pre-fire this angle. Because there's quite often a player standing there at this level of play.
But I do wonder if Copenhagen Flames are going to check that, though. We've seen this be missed in other... Oh, there we go. That's the advantage for Taco. Mertz does throw it back. No scope even. It's a 3v2, but look at the time. Copenhagen Flames, you need to do something, and you need to do it now.
Ooh,
they don't have enough time.
Fallen almost with the collateral as he does take down one, but indeed, the time is gone, and the map will go to MiBR, 19-17. But this could have, and maybe should have, gone in favor of Copenhagen Flames. They choked it out in the end, and